the Italian American word of the week. It is aspettare. Ashpet means wait, or as my New York Italian mother would tell me, hold your horses. Cawfee Talk. Ashpet originates from the Italian word aspettare, but of course, as we know on this podcast and as we've talked about it endlessly, New York Italians really shorten the words. We don't really say the vowels at the end, and we kind of cut them off and make our own little version of the word. Ashpet, wait. It's funny that there's a word like that Italians use so often with other Italians because we are not known for our patience.
Oh, so weight, not physical weight, weight?
No, wait. Yeah. Not like you gained a few ashpets there. No.
Like you're pretty ashpets this month?
No. Ashpet just means weight. Which, I did a podcast a few weeks ago that I put out that kind of was just me being very brutally honest with you guys, saying, I'm not sure that this is the best platform, or do I want to keep doing the podcast? What do I want the episodes to look like? I've been doing it for 1 year and 3 months already, and the responses were so overwhelming, even from some of the viewers who don't have their own podcast. You guys were just like, hey, it takes a minute for a podcast to pick up, and we love it. And it was so funny because I was like, yeah, maybe I just don't have the patience, which is probably very common, for a lot of us. So, it was just, ashpet was always a word my mother used, my grandmother used, but it just really made me conscious of the fact that even over the course of the last 2 years, even Keita has told me, he has said to me like, oh, wow, you're doing great in LA. And I'm like, oh, it's not happening fast enough for me. And
Yeah, fans, just while she's thinking, I completely protested this idea. I do not want this to end, and it's not because she's one of my clients, but it's because I love her to death.
It's not ending. Podcast is actually, I have pretty exciting news for it. It's going to be actually streaming. We'll talk more about it in the new year. It's going to be streaming on a platform device as well. However, yeah, I think I've gotten to a point where, not that I'm all of a sudden patient, but I've kind of been like, okay, I can't force certain things anymore. I can't make things move quicker for me. I can't convince people of either my talent or that my time is worthy. And I kind of just got to a place, maybe it was all your comments that you guys sent me, but I just got to a place where I was like, I just have to give things time. And I am like, first of all, I'm in an industry that's like, hurry up, wait. But I just got really, like, even this week I wasn't feeling well, and I was like, oh no, I probably can't go to LA. Maybe I'm sick. I did the New York Comedy Festival. I had like 8 shows in 3 days, and I went to the doctor, and he's like, no, you just run down and have a sinus infection. And I'm like, yeah, I have to stop rushing things. I have to stop forcing things. I have to stop pushing for certain things. And to wait has never been something I'm good at. I've done videos even being here in LA and traveling all over the country this year. Everybody's time is so different from New York. I'm used to like walking into deli in New York and the guy's like, what do you want? Like, there's no hello. It's like, how you doing? What do you want? And it's like, I'll have a coffee and a full-on egg sandwich, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt and ketchup, pepper, in my hand, in 2 minutes, 5 at max, walking in a deli. I could be online for 15 minutes in LA or some parts of Florida where nobody even has taken my order yet. So I think this whole year has calmed me down in a good way. I think that I have a new perspective on time. I don't know if you guys are working towards something. And listen, it could be something as easy as like real weight. Like you want to do a lifestyle change or you're on a diet. Listen, I have a lot of people. I've even had people on this podcast talk about the fact that they're on Ozempic or they're trying to lose weight. And, I don't think anything good comes from doing anything too quickly. I was on a show in New York, I won't mention any names, with a comic who's rose pretty quickly through social media. We were on the same show together, and I watched the comics perform. He's on tour, and I was like, I don't know how many people are going to see somebody perform because they came up so quickly before maybe they really even fully had an act. And I'm like, you know what? And listen, really nice guy, has the chops. I'm not judging anybody's. Comedy's also subjective, so it just wasn't maybe particularly my style. But I don't mind how people have to make money, right? How people line their pockets is none of my business. But it just made me think like, yeah, I don't want anything before I'm ready for it. You know, there's certain things that you just that just take time. And it's like, you know, good things come to those who wait, or we have all these sayings, and, you know, I never even thought twice about them in my 20s or 30s. But I think now, especially as I care so much about the craft of comedy, or, you know, even the podcast, I was so honest about it. Is it good enough? Am I doing enough for it? Am I reaching you enough? Like, yeah, things take time. Things take work. Ashpet. Wait.
One of the things that this is a great topic because I feel the same way. I totally relate with what you're going through. Because in my case, it's like I've got this podcast with 12. The studio has 12 different podcasts in it, and they're all scrappy, you know, trying to get it. I mean, I don't have any podcasts in here. Yours and Justin's are the two most established. And it's one of those things where it's like it can get really... It's very easy to get stuck in this, like, you're just grinding and you just don't have the mental capacity to be able to look back and go, okay, what's really working? What's not working? You forget to enjoy the moment and you're stuck in the results.
100%.
And a last thing, and you'll probably talk to this too, is, you know, these days we have to we have to be agent, manager, talent. It's not like we can just show up and people do all the other work. It's like, you got to do everything now.
It's 100%. And it's exhausting. And that applies to people who are listening, who are not just in entertainment. Whether you're a mother and working and, you know, a business owner, or, you know, even it's just there's a lot on everybody's plates more than ever. Even when I did the episode about Thanksgiving and how I didn't want to cook and how I wanted to go out for dinner, people were like, yeah, times have changed. Women's roles have changed. Like, there's more than ever things, like, we are all overwhelmed. Like, I feel like that's the word. And I kind of got to a place where today I wasn't feeling great. But I was really excited about doing the podcast. I was really excited about all the guests I'm bringing in these next few weeks. I was really excited about doing the Italian American word because so many of you reach out and say that these are your favorite episodes. You know what that feels like for me, to hear that you guys love these one-on-one conversations with me where I talk about my childhood, or I talk about what's going on in my life, and I relate it to how we all grew up. Like, it doesn't make a difference how many people I'm reaching in the current moment. It really matters to me now. And yes, I may be run down, and yes, just like Keita said, it's not just these talks. It's all the time and effort and work you put into things, and you kind of sometimes want to see the fruit of your labor. You're like, I want to, and it's not just monetizing, right? It's not just about money. It's just, there's so many different factors that make me feel successful at something. And I think I'm my harshest critic. And I just feel like I gotta just give it a minute. And I don't think as an Italian American or as a New Yorker that that's ever been something within my DNA. Like, I don't give many things time. You know, and I feel like I've, you know, put all my money on this comedy career in the sense that I left another career to do this full time. And when I think about it, it's only been a few years. It doesn't make a difference when I started comedy. When did I give it 100%? And if it's a diet for some of you out there, or a job promotion you want, or a relationship you want to develop into something more, like, I just realized, like, patience, I guess they say patience is a virtue. It really is. I didn't come from people who were patient. My grandmothers had no patience. my mother was a single mom. So I think the first few years of my life, my mother was overwhelmed, so much so that she confided in me that when I was about 6 years old, she went to therapy because she said, I'm becoming the mother that I was raised by, and I'm affecting my daughter. And it was that's like, God, that was, when I think about it now, that was so like amazing that she did that, because she didn't come from that. She didn't come from a family that went to therapy. She didn't come from a family that believed in education, or like, she went and did these things on her own. She went back to school. She went to therapy. She kind of grew up with me. She had me very young. My mom was 25. And I have to be honest, the effects of her being very nervous and not patient with me those first 6 years of my life definitely had, some effects on me, in school, or even if you look at pictures of me as a child, I'm like, my hands are clenched in every picture. I was a nervous kid. They would call my mom from school, and my mother wasn't strict with me when it came to school or things like that, but they would call her and say that I was, getting very upset at school if I didn't get the right test mark I wanted, or if I didn't do something the right way. It's like, I didn't even have patience with myself as a first grader, which is funny, and I'll probably find a great way to bring this to stage and laugh at it, but it is at its core trauma. And I guess that's what makes for great comedy. And I guess that's what will make for a good podcast episode. But that's really something I kind of have to think about. I have never been someone who's had patience for myself. And if I'm going to do anything moving forward, it's just be a little kinder to myself. I make a conscious effort to try and be nice to everyone, even people that I don't like. And I don't even give myself that same grace. So, Ashpet.
I got the second word of the day.
What's that?
Sopraffatto. That
What's
means overwhelmed.
Oh, there we go.
Actually, for women, it's sopraffatta.
I don't know if I've ever. I don't think women or Italian women ever were allowed to be overwhelmed. So maybe it was never a word.
Somebody was, because
within. I'm sure it's a word
there's
in
a feminine version.
In the in Google Translate, I'm sure there's a word for it. But I just think, Ashpet, wait, be patient with myself. Guys, if you're listening to this, it's good advice for all of us. I know that some of you have your own podcasts who listen to this. I know we got Tommy Stiggs in Belleville who does his groups on YouTube. And I think it's just something to be said about the fact that we're all doing the best that we can. And with that said, I completely appreciate the love I got from you guys when I brought up, possibly canceling the podcast, which is not happening. And the comments were I probably should have read some of them on here, but they just kind of all had the same theme of like how appreciative you guys are. And you know what? Maybe my ego needed that. Maybe I just needed to feel a little more appreciated than it was. One person even messaged me. I told Keita, person even messaged me on Instagram, and they said, I don't know how to make a comment on Spotify. So I hope you're getting this message. Please don't stop the podcast. I love you. And I will say this, a sentiment that rang loud and true to all of you who messaged me. They said, we love it, but if it's too much for you, we understand. Maybe just do 1 a month or 2 a month. And it was just so sweet, the actual concern and the time you guys took into writing it. I appreciate you from the very bottom of my heart. It's what made me so excited to come in today, even though I sound like this. But I thank you. I love you. Be patient with me as I work through making this the best podcast possible. Be patient with yourselves. If there is a goal that you have, guys, listen, we're always evolving. We're always reaching for something else. But I kind of just wish we can stop and, enjoy the process a little more. Even if it's, something you've been working on for years. Look at guys like Chaz Palminteri and Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone slept in his car till he was able to make the movie he wanted to make. Chaz didn't hit till he was 40 years old, and it's like we got to give ourselves time. And in order to give ourselves time, we have to be patient. And that may not be something that's in our DNA, but let me tell you something. Practice goes a long way. Wake up every morning. Be kind to yourself. Say something. Put an intention out there that makes you grateful. It could sound corny, but guess what? I am 45 years old and I'm allowed to be corny now because I want to be happy and I want all of you out there listening to be happy. If there's anything that resonated with you in this episode, you let me know. All my shows, again, are listed at tarajokes.com. Guys, I'm adding shows to 2026. Up next is Stamford, Connecticut, and Atlantic City, but then it's going to be Tampa, Naples, Washington, D.C., Rhode Island, Providence. It's not till September, but I'm coming. I'm coming back to Irvine, California at the Irvine Improv. I'll be there again in March. Guys, I love you and have a great day. And don't forget, you can get your coffee mug too at tarajokes.com.
Cawfee Talk.